And you're very welcome back. And that was the sound of Brian Kennedy there and Red Sails in the Sunset. And if you want to hear a better version of that, well, you'll need to go along to the Ballard Theatre this week because it features in J B Keane's play, The Year of the Hiker. And joining me in the studio now, I have three of the cast from that play as JC Boner, Mickey McMahon and Daniel Brown. You're all very welcome.
Good evening, Jean.
Thanks, Jean.
So, JC,
Yes.
you were telling me, and you says, don't mention it, but I said, I'm sorry, but you're too late. Yourself and, is it Katie?
Katie B, yeah.
And you're singing that song in the play.
We attempted during the play, yes. So we do for our trouble sons.
Well, J B Keane, the name is very familiar to people going to the theatre, and he's written some fabulous plays: Sive, The Field, Big Maggie, Many Young Men of 20.
That's right.
And The Year of the Hiker, I think, dates back to nearly as old as I am, 1959 or something like that.
1964, I think it was first produced in Kerry. So it was. So yeah, Derby wouldn't produce it. So an amateur group in Listowel produced it. The Listowel players produced it themselves. A year later, then it went on to the Abbey. The Abbey then seen it and took it.
And of all the plays that J B Keane wrote, why did you pick this one?
Well, it was Curran, the director, chose to play. It was the very first play that he ever produced back in the late 60s. So that was the reason why Curran wanted to produce the play now. So he did.
And I suppose J B Keane, I think I read somewhere that he sort of ran a pub or down in a stole, and he observed all the country people. So, and he sort of wrote his plays about this. So what's the plot of this play?
The plot of this play is the hiker, that's the character I play, left home, left his wife and children, went off wandering and returned home 20 years later on the evening of his daughter's wedding. So that's the initial story. So out of that you've got how the rest of the family responded to him and treated him when he came home and turned up. And it's just not the wife and the family, but the wife's Kate's sister, Frida, was also living in the house. So it comes out in the end the reasons why he left and why he had to leave.
And I suppose back in the 60s, like that was sort of a taboo thing, that a man would go off and leave his family. So it more than likely wasn't received well at the time.
No, it wasn't received well at all. And I think of the time in Ireland is why the Abbey didn't accept to do the play, because JB wrote a lot of things that was off the people and off the time, and the city people didn't want to see what was happening in the country.
And I suppose J B Keane, a lot of the themes in his plays, love, bitterness, jealousy, selfishness, pride, reconciliation, all of it's in this play as well, JC.
Everything, the whole lot's in this, which it covers a multitude of emotions and feelings, and throughout the play. And forgiveness.
And Mickey, you're one of the cast, and you're no stranger to the Valor, and you've been in many productions. Well, you and I were in Oliver a long time ago. I was Mrs. Gentleman, and you were the doctor.
Yeah.
So I suppose it must be about 7 or 8 years since that.
Yeah, it was 8 years ago. So I've done a good few things in the Valor since then. I suppose most recently we done the songbook, and then just before that we done The Root of All Evil, so with Sean Lafferty, and we were lucky enough to get to the All Ireland with that play and finished up second in it. So there's plenty of things happening, and it's good to get on. It's good to get on stage with the likes of JC and KDB and Caroline, who've very experienced in the whole lot. I'll not give away their ages, but they're experienced.
So since the production of Oliver, you certainly caught the bug. So what's your part in this play?
I play the eldest son, so he's probably there's Daniel, who's the youngest, and then there's Darren McManaman, who's the sister. But they don't seem to remember. They were too young to remember the the hiker before he left. So I'm the oldest son, and I suppose the one line that probably captures the whole thing for Joe is that he became a sober old man at the age of 7. So he remembers, the father being there vividly, but I think during the whole, since before he raised back, he's trying to blot him out, but he can't. So he sort of ended up having to run the whole farm, run the family. So grew up very young. So he's a sort of a complex character. Mm-hmm. So.
And I suppose, as we mentioned earlier, J B Keane, he observed country life and things like this would have happened back then to many people.
Yeah, and as JC was saying, all his characters, I think, standing in the pub, he would have observed them while serving them and in the local community. So every character he has ever wrote about, there is someone real behind that character. So there was probably a family that either lost a father or he left, and he was able to observe that family and the kids growing up, so that's how he was to write about them.
And I suppose back then too, some maybe men left their families by choice and others by necessity because work wasn't available in rural Ireland then, and people went off to work and left their families for that reason too.
That's true. I suppose different parts of Ireland went over to England. Up here, Donegal, a lot of them went to Scotland, so they probably went for 3, 4, 5 months at a time, or maybe even years. They went and just sent the money back, so there was probably that there behind his writing in that play as well. So.
Mm-hmm. And Daniel, you're no stranger to the Ballard either. As I said, I think I have a coat belonging to you for a number of years ago, which will be returned. But what part do you play in this one?
So my character is Simon, or Simey as they call him, and he's the youngest son. So I think you really sort of see across the length of the play that Simey's treated very differently to Joe, for better or worse. At the start of the play, he's studying to be a vet, and I think I sort of see him as a very ambitious kind of character. I think he really has a sort of a picture of what he wants his future to look like and the future of his family to look like. And the return of the hiker sort of throws a bit of a spanner in the works there. So there's a lot of sort of drama that unfolds from that then.
Mm-hmm. And when you say the hiker, do you know when the hiker comes back that he is your father initially, or is it something you find out during the play?
No, he's aware of who the hiker is and he knows the story there, but he has no real recollection of him at all from his youth. So I think there's a bit of, I suppose, maybe a bit of conflict that develops even with Joe, of the idea that at the very least Joe had a couple of years where he did know him, whereas for Simey there's no memory at all.
And the family, there's 2 sons, but there's a few others as well. JC?
We do. Curran Bell plays Kit. The wife, Kitty Bradley, plays Frida, Kit's sister. Darian McManaman plays the hiker and Kit's daughter, and then Christopher Kwon plays the doctor who is Mary's husband. Marries Mary, so that's the cast.
And of course, under the watchful eye and the baton of Kieran
yes.
Quinn, veteran director over there in the Ballard.
Yes.
Yeah. So you were saying that this is the first play that he ever produced.
First play that he ever produced.
And how does he feel now revisiting after all those years?
I don't know. Never asked him. I would say now he sees it. But I said he's a better understanding of it now than he did then, because he was quite young then, So yeah, we done an awful lot of work for the first couple of weeks, just working on the script itself before we even got up off from around the table. So we did do a lot of delving into each character and stuff like that.
And it's not the Butt Drama Circle that's doing this, it's the DCA.
That's the Ballard DCA, that's doing this production,
And that's the one thing that I love about the Ballard Theatre is there's always something on. They just go from panto to play to musicals and you're never idle over there.
Never idle. We finished this week, and Caroline starts the auditions next Monday for the summer musical.
Right.
So she does. So if anyone wants to find out more details on the summer musical, they can contact the Ballard DCA.
So the play, you've been rehearsing now for a number of months, and it kicks off on Tuesday night, is it?
We do. Open Tuesday night, Wednesday and Thursday, 8 o'clock, the Ballard Arts Centre. Tickets are on sale online at www.ballardartscentre.com, or they can ring the box office on 074 9131 840, and the box office is open from 10 to 5 daily.
Perfect. Well, as I said, thank you so much for
Well,
coming
thanks
in
for having
tonight.
us. Thank you.
Not at all. And as I said, every success with the play. And no doubt, as I said, you'll be in another few months promoting something else.
No doubt. Or somebody will.
Thanks a million.
Thank you,
folks.
Jean.
Má tá
Thanks very
dóiste
much.
brin díis nó níos sinne nó má tá chóras a míneach de lag agat.